Hi, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve from Crossroad Christian Church. I'm Pastor Tony Paulzella. I'm glad you could join us today. I just want to give you a quick message to encourage you on this Christmas, the Christmas that's different than any other that we've ever experienced before. Even with all the dangers and the restrictions and the challenges, I think we've all done the best that we possibly can to make things as pleasant and as meaningful a time that we can spend with our loved ones as we can. We've searched for all the gifts, all the bargains, and just all the right decorations. And ready or not, Christmas is here. And God is here to bless us, and it's time to be blessed. Even here in New York State, the majority of offices and businesses are going to be closed down for Christmas. And it's amazing to think that an event that happened 2,000 years ago, halfway around the world, still has such an influence and an impact on the world today. I think it reflects the power of Christ, as well as the importance of the event of Jesus' coming here to earth. I want to tell you a little story. It's about a man and his wife, and they had 4 sons. They lived in the late 1800s, around the turn of the century, in upstate New York. And the family owned a very small grocery store. And as everyone knows, in upstate New York, the weather in the summertime is pleasant and nice, but in the winters can be very brutal, very cold. And because of this, their grocery store didn't do very much business in the 3 to 4 months of winter. It seems that people would stock up on their groceries, and this way that they didn't have to come out in that brutal weather. So because of this man's growing family and their growing expenses, he did what many men did at that time to make ends meet during that 3 to 4 month period or so. He went to work at a lumber yard in a larger city about 100 miles away. And because of the distance and how difficult it was for people to travel at that time, it made sense for him to live there in that city over that period of months. But every week, he promised that he would write to his family, write to his wife, and tell them how much he loved them and how much he missed them, and that he was saving up all this money that he made and he was going to bring it home to them in just a few short months. Those few months passed and he came back and everything was great. And this went on for a few years just like this, without a problem. But then one year there was a problem. The first week the letter came as usual, and he spoke to them and told them that he loved them. But then the next week there was no letter. The family was worried. They decided, we'll just wait it out a little bit, be patient. Another week went by and still no letter. Week turned into week, turned into 2 sad, agonizing years. The family finally assumed that either the father had died or had left for good and started a new life on his own. They didn't know. Eventually, the oldest son finally came of age to go out on his own, and he decided to go look for and to find out what happened to his father. He went to that big city, and he would talk to the people there, and they said, "Yeah, I knew him, but I haven't seen him in a long time." Everywhere he went, he got that same answer. The son finally came home and told that news to his family, and without hope, they still just didn't know what to think. Then one day, they got a letter from their father, and he said in it, "I love you, I miss you, and I've got a great surprise for you, but I can't come to you right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send someone to you who will tell you how you can come and see me." They didn't understand it all, but now at least they had some hope. So they waited to hear from someone to tell them what to do. And they waited, and they waited, and they waited. Eventually, one of that oldest son's friends told that son that he knew how they could go and see their father. But they all said to him, "What do you know? You've lived with us this whole time. What could you possibly know about the situation?" But he kept insisting. The family kept ignoring, waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Today, we celebrate the birth of a baby born in a stable. His father had told his family to shape up where they would never be able to see him. In fact, he warned them for hundreds of years through prophet after prophet after prophet. Then he promised to make a way for his family to see them. But there was a period of quiet. No message from God between the Old Testament and the New Testament for years. In fact, not for hundreds of years. People must have thought that God had died, or maybe he left them for good and started out somewhere else. Finally, the Messiah did come, but not in the way that any of them expected. That baby born in the manger grew to be a man, and just like that friend in the story, the people said to Jesus, "What do you know? You've been here with us all along. How could you possibly know the way to the Father?" Isn't it sad how people can miss the truth that's right under their nose? So yes, it is amazing that an event that happened 2,000 years ago, halfway around the world, can still have an impact on us today. So on Christmas morning, when everyone is opening their gifts, take a few minutes to think about why Christmas is such a big deal in the first place. Author Bridget Romoli says that she can sum up the relevance of Christmas for us in just one short phrase: God came to earth. No other faith can boast that belief. It's unique to the Christian faith, God coming to earth as a human being. But that's not even the best of the good news. The good news is why Jesus came, why God came to earth. And that's the reason for Christmas. So why did God come to earth? The scriptures give us a number of reasons. First, Jesus came to earth to show us what God is like. Next, he came to show us what life should really be like, to show us how we should live. But the most important reason that God came to earth in the form of Jesus is to reconcile you to God, to be the bridge between you and your Creator. He came to pay the price for our sin, so that God could forgive us and that we could be with him forever. There's no other God like our God. There's no other God who came to earth to live and to die for us. And as great as that makes us feel, we need to also remember that this very night, in many countries around the world, there are Christian brothers and sisters who may not even live to see tomorrow. Violence against Christianity is escalating every year. Many are beaten, imprisoned, terrorized. Yet they still hold on to their faith. They realize what Christ has done for them, and they hold on. They're willing to withstand anything in order to be with him in eternity. In a little while, we're all going to be opening up a whole bunch of presents, of gifts. And please don't forget the most important gift of all, God's gift of Christ to you this Christmas. This Christmas, be proud of who you are. Be proud of your God and your Savior. Be proud to be called a Christian. God bless you. From all of us at Crossroad Christian Church, we wish you a very happy Christmas.